Okay, welcome back to the third tutorial about developing a game using LibGDX. So in the previous video we managed to um, create, start working with the user input, and now we can move the sprite left and right using only the keyboard. But at the same time we want to use visual buttons that for user input. Okay, so what we did yesterday, the things that we did didn't work well, so let's see what is going on here. Yeah, okay, so let's have a look at the code. Now we are getting here, we are detecting that there is a mouse click, right, or a touch, right, and at the same time here we are getting the x and y coordinates and checking against the coordinates for the button. So it seems that this one doesn't work, so I will change this a little bit. I'll make this 0, make this 100, and make this 0, make this 100, just to see. So now we should check on the lower right corner of the display if there is a so here nothing happens. Oh wait a second. Oh, you can see here. Okay, I think I got it. This is the bug. So basically when you are drawing shapes using OpenGL, the x-axis for the shapes goes from 0, which is here at the bottom, and goes up. However, it seems that for the mouse coordinates, the get x and y gives you the values from here. Okay, so this is 100, 100. Very interesting. So that means to me, if we change this, right, so what are the values here? We have y1, yeah, okay, so if I'm not mistaken, let's say that this is the button, so at some point in here, okay, there should be a button. I mean, it's on the other side over here or something like that. At the same time, I'm not sure about the width for this button per se. Yeah, maybe I need to get the values here. Let's see if yesterday the debug didn't work well. I'm not sure why, but let's see if the debug still doesn't work. This is very weird. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, I could go to build, run, debug, Alt Shift F9. Okay, so Alt Shift F9. So initialize Alt Shift and F9. Okay, so the debugger project, yes, this guy. Oh, doesn't debug. This is very weird. I'm not sure what's going on, but my guess right now is that right now the width I am getting for this button is less than the actual width that is visible. Because of that, I'm getting this error. Yeah, this is very weird. So let me say, for example, that this is going to be 100, something like that, and oh, wait a second, I can solve this very quickly. let's go to the button itself and go to properties, and in the details part, the dimensions 56 by 56. Okay, so let's go, and right now I will fix this to be 5.6, and this is gonna be 5.6. It's as simple as that. And let's run this and see. Yeah. Wow, this is very weird. When I place it with numbers, it works, but when I use this one, next one, yeah, I'm doing something wrong, certainly. Let me see. I'll change this with 10. This is gonna be 66. This is gonna be 100 and 156. Okay, so I'm just replacing this with numbers to see if it will work. So let's run this again. So here it's works. Here it is working. So although the button is not visible, it's in here. So I need to reverse that. Yeah, I need to get the screen height. Let me see how can I do that. Desktop launcher, let's see. This one, or maybe, yeah. I might need to, you know, get the dimensions here. Let's go. Let's search in LibGDX, get window or display width and height. Okay, how to get screen resolution of Android device, getting screen size. Graphics get width and height, I suppose this is the one. Okay, so here what we need to do, sorry, so so what we need to do is the following. Yeah, mouse X1, mouse Y1. So gdx.graphics get height minus the mouse Y1. I suppose this should be it for now. Let's run this again. So I just need to do something very simple here. In addition to that, I need to subtract this dot button get height. And let's run this again. Okay, now it's working like a button, if you know what I mean. But there is a problem still, because right now, when we are checking the values, where is the check for these values? Yeah, these are the checks here. So in this case, this is going to be this dot mouse X1, right, and this dot mouse X2. There you go. This dot mouse Y1. This dot mouse Y2. Okay, so I suppose that will be it. Let's run this. Okay, now it's working fine. Okay, well, what was I doing wrong? This is weird. Anyway, Sorry. Now let me just check one last thing. Here I'm gonna say this dot button get width. Okay, and this dot button get height. Okay, let's see if this will still cause a problem. Now it's working. I don't know what did I do wrong, but you know, I'm very glad that it's working fine right now. So now this button, the left click button, will work on the left. We need something that works on the right. Okay, so let me change this a little bit. Okay, so there's gonna be left, 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 left. The reason I'm putting these in variables is that we can later on but just change the numbers and move the button itself, which will allow us to configure the buttons very quickly. Control C, Control V. Now there's gonna be right, 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 and right. Okay, that is wonderful. Now let us go and yeah, this is gonna be left, left, oops, left, left. Okay, so let us add these. This is gonna be right, 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 right. Okay, so now the X1 location changes. It has the same Y, but the X1 it changes, which will be GDX.graphics graphics dot get width, right? And I will subtract 10 and also subtract this dot button dot get width. Okay, so this will be for the second button, okay, which is on the right button. So now let's go to the rendering. So render the left button. Now render the right button. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is gonna be left, all capital, left mouse. Okay, so I'll copy this, paste it here. Now instead of left, this is gonna be your right mouse, and this is gonna be right mouse Y1. Okay, so now we got these two. Last thing I'm gonna do, just copy this, Control C, enter. Okay, so what do we have here? Simply left, oops, the L need to be capital. Maybe I should have copied this. Left, 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 and left here, and also right, 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 and another right. Okay, so let's run this game. And I did something wrong, right? Yes. So this is gonna be left, left, and there's gonna be right, right. So if you look at the code, it's very simple, very straightforward. Here we have the, you know, the X1, the left part of the button, add the width to it, and you know, same for the Y, the top, add the height to it. Anyway, so now what are we gonna do is something simple. Let's run. Okay, So this moves here. Oh, sorry about that. Just change this to move right. And now we run this. And this left, this right. Now we can move this using touch interface. Now, if you are still wondering if this is really true, let's go and select an Android device. Try to run this. Okay, so let's go to Nexus 5 and hit OK. And it will take some time. Okay. So right now my machine is starting an Android emulator, and we will be checking this game on its touch screen. Of course, if you have an Android device connected to your PC, it will be deployed and you can see it right away. So launching Android. Come on, buddy. Sorry. Come on. Yeah, bear with me a few seconds, please. And by the way, just move it like that. Okay, it's starting. Oops. Maybe flip it again. Okay, so I click here. You can see that it's working fine. I click here. Right, very nice, it's working. So in theory the touch interface is working and these are the buttons. However, there is a very big problem. You can see right now the resolution of this device is high, so the buttons are small, and also its location is not the same. We will address this later on. We will build the game, and at the very final stages we'll see how we can, you know, render the game in such a way that, you know, it enlarges, it scales itself up, and all the perspective and everything else, you know, fall right into place, and we should get no problem with that. Right now we are just trying to fix the user input, and we already did that, so all as well, and I suppose no problem. So since this is all good and great, I will turn off the virtual machine or virtual device here and power it off. And also let me go back to this guy again and run it again. Okay, you can see huge difference in, you know, dimensions and stuff. Yeah, so let us discuss the code a little bit, right? Although we, you know, made a few changes, but whatever. So first we created this input management and a class. Its job is very straightforward and simple. It just manages the user input, whether it is from the keyboard in case of PC, or it is, you know, touch interface as in an Android device, or, you know, maybe an iPhone, right? So here we define a number of variables. So there is a move left and right. These are the variables that tells your game to move the player left or right, and the game will scan these, okay, to know what to tell the player what to do, or the sprite what to do. The texture button is used to render the button for you. Also we have a number of variables, which is left mouse x1, left mouse x2, and left mouse y1 and y2. These are the coordinates that define the rectangle that will host the left touch button, and these the same goes with the right ones. These will define the rectangle that will represent the right touch button. The initialization method here is used to initialize the input management. So we create the button, we set the mouse X and Y for the two buttons. Okay, and yeah, we have two other methods. The update status, we check the keyboard. This is how we check the keyboard. We just use GDX input is key pressed, and we pass the code of the key we're checking. And another check for the mouse or touch interface, if the touch is being pressed at that very time, we get the X and Y, and we check that the X need to be within the bounds of the left button, and the Y also within the bounds of the left button. If so, then this means that the move left command should be activated. In other words, the person pressed inside the square or the button for moving left. So we set the flag to true. Otherwise, we set it to false. Okay, and you might be wondering why you didn't set this one to false before running anything. Well, since if you are running on Android, visually you don't have keyboard, so these functions will return false, so these will be false by default, and you know, you'll just need to set these here. One last thing, you use this method for rendering buttons on the screen. Now the main game is very straightforward here. We have a Sprite Badge, and basically a Sprite Badge will hold all the textures that need to be drawn, or let's say hold all the commands and the primitives that will be used to render the textures on the screen. The texture is a representation of an image, and input management is the input management class we created, and we make an object of type user input. So also we have image position and image position direction. These are for testing purposes, will be deleted later. So the first thing we do when the game starts, we are creating a new Sprite Badge. This is added by the engine itself. We load the new texture, and also we create the object of input management and call the initialize method. When we are rendering things, we collect user input. Based on the user input, we might want to move left or maybe move right or do nothing at all. We update the physics, in this case it's this line, and finally we render the sprites. So we clear the screen, right, and this setting the color, and this setting the performing the clear, and then we start drawing. So we draw all of the scene. Finally, we will put the buttons on the screen so that they are on top, they don't hide, so you know where the buttons are. And finally we end rendering, and that's it. The game is very simple, very straightforward. I suppose that will be all for today. Tomorrow we will start, making things a little bit better. We will reduce the size of the sprite, create a better shape for our spacecraft, and also start to think how we can create an object representing our spaceship. Okay, and maybe create an enemy. Yeah, it all depends on time. So that will be all for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye bye. We save this here and we stop recording.